What is up, guys? It is Spooky here, and welcome to storytime number 5. I can't believe we're on 5 of these already, which means over a month already of story times, and I hope there's plenty more to go around. So today's video is going to be a story time on the first day, or well, the first time that I actually bought condoms, and then the first time that I actually snuck over to a house. So this entire story is a complete rebel story that I've never told. Well, I told people before, but I don't really tell too much about this story. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it. So it was a cold night, I would say, of July the 4th. Me and my girlfriend had parted our ways for the holiday. She usually spent the 4th of July with her friend most of the time, but me, I just stayed home, and I think I was watching, I'm pretty sure I was watching some kind of Disney movie. Yeah, I'm almost certain I was watching some kind of Disney movie. And she was babysitting, well, not even babysitting, but she was house sitting with her friend. And now her and her friend wanted to invite me and then her friend's boyfriend over to just hang out, chill out, whatever. There was a pool there, so we probably would have ordered pizza, just chilled out and swam. But her friend's boyfriend couldn't make it, so she asked me, and I said, well, sure, why the hell not? I mean, what could go wrong? Nothing really went wrong, I think, but without further question, I knew I wanted to be prepared. Now, me and my girlfriend were sexually active at the time, but not have I ever bought a condom once. So, my first time buying a condom, I went to CVS, and I told my girlfriend I had left the home around 10 o'clock. My parents weren't in town, so, I wasn't really sneaking out. I think I was outside of... Yeah, it was after my first year of college already, so I wasn't really sneaking out. I was old enough to do what I needed to do, and so I had went to CVS. I told my girlfriend I was going to be there in like 10 minutes, but I left at 10 o'clock, and I got to CVS around like 10. It's only 5 minutes away from my house, and I sat inside the car for about 20 minutes because I was unsure of how this was going down. I think I only had $10 in my pocket to spend, and I had no idea how much condoms were or how many more you were, let alone how much came in a pack. So I had no fucking clue of how to even do any of this. So I went into CVS about 20 minutes after sitting in my damn car, and I walked really smooth and coolly and tried to keep my calm the whole way. And I walked all the way to the section of where women's stuff would be. And to my demise, the condoms were right next to period and pamper stuff for women, as I would call it. And there was an assortment that I had no idea of how people even decide on these things, of sizes and colors. And I literally spent another 5 minutes in just trying to keep my cool, hoping nobody was going to come around the corner, because this was embarrassing for me. I think I was 18, and I had never done this before, and I was just making it so weird. So then I would sit there, and I was staring at all these different colors and sizes and prices, and Magnums and Trojans, and even the super cheap kinds. I only had $10 in my pocket, so I knew I wasn't going to be spending a lot. So what I did is I went with the box that had one of my favorite colors, which was purple. Lucky enough for me, it was just in my budget. I think it was around $7. And this isn't even the worst part, guys. The worst part is that I had to go up to the clerk. And the clerk was a girl around my age who was 18. And I was hiding the box behind my back the whole time. I wanted nobody to see or know my business, because they would have been like, somebody's getting it on 4th of July. And I was nervous. I felt like I was going to go to jail, like something was going to go wrong. Like I said, it was embarrassing. It was my first time doing this. I didn't know what to expect. Let alone I had no idea what was going to go down. So, I'm hoping that I can keep eye contact with this girl who's around my age, who's the cashier, and she wouldn't look at the box. But I put the box upside down so that she can scan it quickly, and it was a purple box, so it could have been anything. But she's like, so are you having a good 4th of July? I'm like, yeah, just kind of chilling, just gonna go home and probably watch some movies and stuff. And she's like, oh, it's gonna be a fun night then, huh? I'm like, yeah, I guess you can say it'll be a pretty fun fucking night, right? and she turned away, and I was trying to keep dead eye contact with her the whole time, but she turned away and she looked at where it said what she had rung up, and it said Trojan Condoms, and she gave me a look and raised her eyebrow and said, well, I won't keep you long from your duties, so here's your bag and here's your receipt. You have a good night and a good 4th of July. I looked at her and I said, thanks. I was so embarrassed because there was an old woman behind me too, and this old woman was like, as soon as I left the aisle to buy my stuff, I could feel her daunting on me. I mean, it wasn't a sin or anything, but like, damn, it felt like I was gonna go to hell for this shit. At least something. Like, I was gonna walk up to the gates of, hell, and the devil was gonna greet me with like a pen and paper and was like, I've been waiting for you. Like, jeez, my gosh. So the night continued, and I drove up to this complete random address that my girlfriend and her friend were house sitting. And I had a Ford Ranger at the time, and I drove up to the house, and I was calling my girlfriend. I'd never done this before. I was like, hey, listen, I'm in front. I don't know where you guys are. She's like, just look for us. We're going to be on the street. And shortly after, as I parked really, really far away from the house, like under a tree in the shade, like the shade of the night, there was like a light pole, and it was casting a shadow. So I parked my sketchy little truck under that, and that's where I kind of resided to. And then sure enough, my ex at the time, well, my girlfriend at the time, but my now ex, comes out doing cartwheels with her friend, and they start dancing around and hollering and making the loudest fucking noise, as if attracting all the fucking neighbors and waking up everybody, even though it was 4th of July and probably nobody was exactly home. I didn't want attention, okay? I might as well have like freaking weed in my car because I had a box of condoms, and that was as sinful as it got for me. Okay, guys, just know that. And so what had happened was, I got out of the car, had the box in my pocket, I think, and went up, greeted them, and we kind of chilled out. And for me, this night was one of the funnest nights because I walked inside this complete random house. I think there was a dog, and the dog was just like pissed at me, probably pissed on my shoes or something, I don't even know. And my girlfriend was like, hey, do you want to go swimming? I was like, swimming? It's like 11 o'clock and a California night. And then I remembered, it's not that cold. I mean, California cold is probably around the 70s, 75 at night. It can get colder, but it was not that bad, especially on this night. So I said, sure, why not? So I think her friend was swimming before. She was in the jacuzzi. That's what it was. She didn't want to get in. I think she was texting her boyfriend. She was a little upset that night or something. So she was chilling out with us. And I didn't bring swim trunks or anything. So I said, screw it. I'm going in my shorts. I think I was in... No, I didn't get out of my clothes. I'm sorry. I jumped in with my pants. Okay, I swam in my pants. And this is something... I love swimming in pants, guys. It's so much fun. So I jumped in the pool with my pants without a shirt because I wanted to be a sexy man. And I think my girlfriend was just in like her bra and underwear or something. And we started swimming, and it was under the moonlight, and it was really, really cool. And I really, really enjoyed it because it was something I'd never done. And I was like scared. I thought these people, whoever owned the house, was gonna roll up on us or something. And the pool was nice. It was big, and it was under the moonlight, and it had lights inside the pool, and nobody could really hear us. We weren't really being too loud. Her friend, after a couple times of me jumping in on purpose, decided to go back inside the house and leave us alone. After we were left alone, we just kind of swam around, had fun. It honestly felt like a 70s or an 80s movie, and it was a wonderful night, honestly. It was fun. And I remember after that, we were soaking wet. I didn't have no towel or anything. I think I had like a plastic bag with me, which was the condom bag, and I threw my clothes inside there. And then I walked back inside the house, and then it was so awkward because my ex had walked inside before me, and she's like, okay, I'll find a towel for you. And so I'm just sitting there dripping wet without a shirt, just awkwardly standing in front of my girlfriend's friend, and I felt so embarrassed. I'm like, soaking wet, and it's so awkward. She's just sitting there watching TV, and I'm waiting, and then I hear my ex basically ask me, she's like, hey, do you want this is part of the story. She goes, do you want to take a shower with me? I'm like looking at her, I'm like, what? I mean, for a guy who's not done a lot in his life, this was like, it totally felt like a movie. And I was like, I didn't know what to say. She's like, well, if you don't, then I'm gonna have my friend take a shower with me. I was like, wait, what? But she was saying it in a joking manner. But I mean, that lesbian business though, I mean, I don't know, that could have been a cool night, but at least to say that did not happen. I kind of just said, okay, and then I followed her, and then basically, long story short, I'm not gonna get into so many details, we took a shower together, and things had happened. One thing progressed to another, and then another thing progressed, and then more progressed, and I can't remember. We did not use the condoms there. We did do other stuff in the shower, and I apologize if this is TMI or if you guys don't want to listen to this, but this is just how this story happened. So after that, I was like kind of nervous because I didn't know what to happen. If you guys want to know something about me, sex scares me to the point it literally scares me, because I think every time I have sex that the girl is gonna get pregnant or whatever. Or I don't care if there's protection or something. That's just how I've always felt in my life. And so I'm sitting outside. I'm like, you know, like, what if you're pregnant? This and that. She's like, oh no, we'll be fine. I'm not gonna get pregnant. And I'm like freaking out. I'm sweating over here. I'm, you know, and I'm still nervous because I'm being a rebel this whole night, and I'm not even thinking about the worst possibilities of that people can walk inside the house, and I would have to run outside. Like, I was planning my escape and everything. And I showed her, I'm like, hey, so I bought these things, and I showed her the condoms, and she was laughing at me. She's like, you really thought like more stuff was gonna happen? I'm like, well, apparently stuff did happen, right? So then I was prepared to sleep at this house this night because I just wanted to spend time. I never really got alone time with my ex or a lot of my girlfriends back in the past. And so she said, no, you know, you got to go home, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, it's cool that at least I got to saw you for 4th of July. And we walked out to my car, and basically we got inside the car, and that was, I would say, from that point, that was the first time I think I've ever had that was the first time I ever used a condom, I think. And I had sex in my car, and it was the weirdest thing, especially inside that kind of truck. It was extremely weird, and it was crazy. It was a crazy night, because this is when I was really rebellious, and I mean, I still think about nowadays, and I'm like, holy shit, I was a dirty ass person, and I was terrible. I feel bad for whoever's bathroom I had sex in, because I don't think they will ever know or ever find out. And it was a really small bathroom. Like, I mean, this bathroom was meant for one person. You cannot fit 2 people in there. But it was an interesting experience. The whole point of this story that I'm telling you guys is, sometimes in life, when you're young or even in your 20s, you do stuff that you just are impulsive of, and you do things because you find it fun, or you just really want to go out there and try. I was never a rebellious kid, but I did all this like when I was 18 and stuff, and I'm about to be 21 right now. So that's why I'm telling these stories. I wait for a long time to pass before I tell some of these stories, guys. Come on now. It's not like I'm just going around and swinging my thing at people, but it was a lot of fun. Like I said, why I tell this story is sometimes you just gotta be out there, and you gotta be willing to make risks and know your consequences. I'm a very different person now, guys. This happened a long time ago. Don't hold me to it. And like I said, this was a little bit TMI. I should have disclosed that in the beginning of the title, but you can guess from the title of when it says condoms and when I'm rebellious. So this was one of my 4th of July story times, and I honestly take a lot away from it. It was just it was the first time I think I was ever rebellious, and honestly, for that, it's not about the sex part, it's not about the condom part, it's about me being risky and you know, doing what makes me happy, and it felt like a movie. So yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening. Storytime number 5. My name is Spooky. Brandon, thank you for watching this gameplay. And at the end of the day, guys, don't forget to share the love.